It feels like you're onto a good thing here. You've gradually grown into the season in terms of positive results. Can I just get your reflections on the weekend and how that went for you and what the players will take from it?
Well, you've got to take from it the positives, which was, we've gone toe to toe with the League One side, established League One side, done really well. They've had a couple of injuries themselves and stuff, but they put a really strong side out. Probably not the strongest that he wanted to put out, Nigel, but it was a really, really strong, experienced side that went out against that we played against. And the lads done really, really well. I thought the first half, it had everything. The cup, didn't it? The cup tied the game. It had everything. I think the first half, I think we shaded it. Well, not shaded. I think we were better. We should have scored a few more goals. Donald's had a chance. I think he was made a good save from it. And Ben Ward's had a chance. And then second half, I think they started on the front foot. Pegged us back a little bit right from the kick-off, to be honest. Changed the shape, changed the personnel, asked more questions of us, and we give them corner after corner, which we've reflected on. And as I said, it had everything, didn't it? The extra time, the penalties, the weather, the way it was. And I couldn't have asked for any more from the players. I think they've gave a really good account of themselves. And it's just a shame you're on the next round, but that's good football for you. You move on, you have to move on quickly. We have done this morning, and we move on our focus now to Harrogate.
Do you think your players are really rising to the challenge and really interpreting what you're asking them to do at the moment?
100%, definitely. I mean, when you're getting pats off the back of Nigel Clough, a man who's seen it, been there and done it, established manager, and he's telling us how hard we are to play against, how hard working we are, we've got some good qualities. So, that's credit to us as a club, credit to the players and the work that we're doing on the training ground, and then what we produce on the match day.
Statistically, I know you lost the shootout, but it goes down as a draw. So it's 1 defeat in 10, unbeaten in 8. You've made yourself hard to beat. What have you done to make that happen?
Just keep reinforcing the messages, keep doing what we're doing on the training ground, keep telling the lads how good they are, how good the squad is, individually, how good they are as players, knowing what the roles and responsibilities were in that, and then can they bring it day to day? And they do, and we see that on the training ground, and we see that in the games that they play. We've got lads who can change games, lads who can win games, but we need everyone on the pitch that's playing the game, and we need all the squad, and the mentality is totally different from last year. The characters that we've brought in, there's a change in mindset and everything. It's, if you go a goal behind, it's like, maybe last year at some point early on the season we go, oh, here we go, but there's none of that anymore. So we're tough to beat. When we go in front ourselves, we want to hold on to leads, and Saturday we should have probably seen that out. But you're changing things, so you have to change things, and they end up getting the equaliser, and then lottery, and penalties are the lottery. But the mindset is a totally different dressing room downstairs with all the players.
What's your mindset now? Do you think you can really climb the division now?
Well, no, we have to. That's your job, Adam. I mean, everyone writes you off. It's us against the world all the time, which is, it's never ever going to change. And we know what we've got. We know what we're about. We're honest that we have a goal. We're not just Route 1 football. Whichever way football and people want to see it played, we can do whatever style you can think of. So we can adapt. And I just think now that we've got to kick on. We've got to push away. We have in recent games that we've played, the stats that you've just said about being unbeaten, and it is down as a draw. That's 2-2 and lost on penalties. So we keep that unbeaten run going, if you like. As someone said before, there's an L by it. So yeah, we lost it on penalties. So we move on. The focus is this. We know now what's at stake in terms of we can put even more distance between ourselves and Harrogate.
Have you adapted as the time has gone on, as the manager of this football club, in terms of changing things you might done, really focusing on the things that do work?
Yeah, I think it has. I think I've grew into the job. I've become to understand the job a bit more, and also, you sort of, you've got to let people do their job as well and take responsibility for that role as well. So I think it's a collective, but you're sort of steering the ship, if you like. But I'll get the pats on the back for what we've done, but I don't play the game, so I don't do the training. I set the team up. Me and Jed Brand set the team up. We have chats. Jed says what he says about this and that, formations and personnel, and we bounce things off each other. But ultimately, I have to make the decision. But collectively, we've been getting it right.
Your players seem to respond very well to you. The loan signings, Isaac Heath in particular, what have you made of him, and how good can he be? Because he's a standout, isn't he, in this run?
He's a top player, but we've brought top players to the club. Adam, you know, we've got the lads from Burnley. You know, got Logan's had a little bit of an hamstring issue. You know, he's still trying to find his feet in that position in terms of left back. He's a good left back, as we've seen in the under-21s. Joe Barres is a top player. He's a top footballer. He showed his qualities when he came on Saturday. Isaac Heath, you've just mentioned Isaac Heath, he's just an unbelievable talent. You know, and to see what teams are doing to him now, doubling up, trebling up, and he trebled up on him Saturday. You had Oshalea, who's been playing centre-back and centre-mid for Burton for years. He's been playing centre-back recently for Mansfield, ended up going to play left-back to stop him. You know, and then in the second half, they changed the shape and they had him playing right side of a back three, and then he also put Lewis Aikens on against him, who's a unit. So he's getting asked loads of questions. He's figuring it out himself. He's got answers. He's scoring goals. He's assisting. He's a constant threat, and he's only going to get better. He's an unbelievable talent.
How much is January on your mind in terms of what you want to do in the transfer market?
It is. It's more of a worry about who potentially. You know, you hear things all the time about who could end up going. So our lads are doing an unbelievable job in terms of individually and now collectively as a team in the recent games that were played. So they're going to get people looking at them. But at the end of the day, they're all under contract, you know, and you have to say so. There's a worry of, you're always worried about who goes out, but you always have all your bases covered just in case of players coming in. We've had a few in recently. There's a thing where now we can take them and have a look at players as work experience type of thing. So they come from the clubs, they spend a week with you, spend 2 weeks with you, they get a feel of you get a feel of them, and then they go back, and then you know, the only worry is that if you don't press the button on certain ones, you miss out on them and they go somewhere else.
I guess you've got to have succession plans. If you were to lose a player, or a club recalled that player and wanted to send him to a higher division, I guess you then have to have a succession plan to go for somebody else who wants to come in and do this similar role. Yeah,
I've just said that, Adam. Yeah. So you've got that, but it's whether you can get them or not. So last year we had Dara Costello, you know, scored goals for us, done really, really well, put us in the position that. And then, you know, he went back in January, so sort of kills you, but it gives the lads that are in the building the opportunity that we had at the time. So you've got to go and find someone else. You know, we've got Charlie Caton. Charlie Caton's doing really, really well in training. He's affecting the game when he comes on as a substitute, where he's scoring goals and chipping in. So he's doing really. So he's chomping at the bit. He's waiting for his chance to come, and when it comes, I'm sure he'll take it. You have to have all these plans in place. If you lose him, could this happen? Could that happen? We have, but at the end of the day is also money talks and higher leagues talk. So if you've got a lad that you've had in and he spent 2 weeks with you, but another club comes in and it's a high division, potentially he could go there. So, you know, you can only do what you can do. You can try your best. You can cover all the bases like we do, me and Jed Brannan as coaches, and see where that takes us.
Well, you've made yourself a attractive club to come and play for if you're a lone player. I guess for the Premier League, the Championship clubs, wherever, they see Accrington as a good outlet for these players to go and play. As Southampton, for example, with Ollie Wright, and last season with O'Brien Whitmarsh.
Yeah, and Zach Orr. So, you know, these lads, and look at Zach Orr, what he's done. He ended up going to Billy Kelly, the goalkeeper. He ended up going to play at Anfield, didn't he, in the FA Cup last year. That was the beauty of last season. So, you know, when they come here, it's not about the money and how much money they can recuperate, and you know what contribution you're paying. It's always about, we'll give them game time, because the quality players. So they'll get the game time. It's, you know, we're not going to take a chance on these players. We have to get our loan players right. And I think over the past, last season, this season, we've got them right.
Your good run takes you on to a game with Harrogate, who are not in great form at the moment. What do you anticipate the challenges will be playing there?
Well, Simon's been there for years, so he's so sets the team up really well. You know, you can go on about budgets and everything else, so they do well for where they are and what league they're playing in. They're tough. They've got some good players. They play a certain formation. They can obviously change and go to a back three. I think it'll be a tough challenge going there. And you're on about, in terms of the run that they've been on, they beat Blackpool, a strong Blackpool side in the EFL the other day, when you potentially could say they had a strong side out themselves. They got Drew Barnett away, got a point there. They got beat at home against Walsall 2-0 in the previous game. The game before that, they drew against Notts County. So it is the last 4 games. So within that, they've done quite well. you know, the top of the league against Walsall, and they've got an unbelievable point, if you like, away at Notts County. So it'll be a tough ask. It's a big game. We know the outcome of it in terms of what potentially could happen. So we're ready for it. We're going to be ready for it, and so will they.
The potential is to get nearer the playoffs than the bottom. I guess that's the incentive here, isn't it? You got to carry this on.
It is, Adam. I mean, you know, from the first sort of kick of the ball when the season kicks off, everyone asks, you know, your goals, your aspirations, what are they, and all that is, you want to win games of football, and when you win games of football, it takes you right up the league. Hopefully, if other teams, you know, lose their games. So our ambition is not every year just to survive. Everyone says, oh, there's no ambition from Accrington. It's the end of the day we have got what we've got, but we try and push on because we're winners. We want to win. We want to win games of football, and we want to be up the league, and we want promotions like we have in the past, and we want to do everything else. And that's what you aspire to be, and that's what we want to be. So, you know, the end of the day is we set our stall up, we set our team out right, we train right, we set them up on match days, and hopefully you can win games to go and push yourself up that league to get into the playoffs.
And that winning mentality, I guess, it exists in this dressing room. Given what you've just said about the mentality of the players and the characters you've got, it's always going out to win.
You can see it. You can see it. Do you see the winning mentality on Saturday? You wanted to win Saturday. You know, it's just unfortunately we couldn't just get, you know, after Paddy scored the one to make us 2-1, that we just couldn't see it out because the rewards are all there for everyone, because everyone wants to get into the third round, don't they? It wasn't there, but it's been there in previous games. We just didn't get quite over the line on Saturday. But as I said, the penalties are lottery, and pats on the back to all them that take them, because I don't care, it's nerve-wracking, it is. I've been there myself with it. You want to get through, but you don't. And by the way, the three of them were three really, really good penalties. The keepers, you know, stood up and made some, you know, 3 good saves. I think the first one, he saved it, spun it the bar, and it spun it at the outside of the post. I thought it was going in. But no, they've got that winning mentality downstairs. They've got it in training. You can see it. Sometimes you have to tell them to ease off, because like they just the desire is there to do really well. They all want to do really well, first and foremost for themselves, but for this club, they want to do well. It's there, it's shown in the games, and that's why we're in the position we're in at the moment, sort of looking up and not down.
Just in terms of injuries, finally, John, where are you at? I know you've had some illness in the camp, haven't you?
We've had illness, so again, we'll have to see what 1 or 2 of them are like tomorrow. In terms of Saturday, we had a few fatigued, but they've come back, so we're looking after them today, and then we'll see how it goes.